A former Scottsbluff postal employee has been convicted in federal court for embezzling from the local branch of the National Association of Letter Carriers. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. And our top story, a former Scottsbluff postal employee convicted of falsifying local union financial records to cover up embezzlement will spend limited time behind bars. 43-year-old Jacob Wilkins of Mitchell embezzled more than $23,500 from the local branch of the National Association of Letter Carriers during his role as president. The indictment alleged that he had used union funds for personal purchases from 2016 through 2020 and admitted he stopped tracking how he used union funds as of 2010. This week, senior U.S. District Judge John Gerard sentenced Wilkins to 5 years of probation and to serve 10 weekends in jail. Wilkins was also ordered to pay more than $21,000 in restitution to the union, the remaining balance after he had paid back roughly $2,300 prior to sentencing. Well, a 60-year-old Alliance woman is accused of taking more than $60,000 from an 85-year-old woman living at a local care center. Felony charges of abuse of a vulnerable adult and theft by unlawful taking were filed against Kay Wallace last month, and she made her first court appearance last week in Box Butte County Court. The victim's granddaughter has been awarded temporary conservator status after alleging that Wallace has been financially exploiting the senior citizen. Wallace is scheduled to be back in court on August 13th for a hearing with counsel. And there will be no trial for a 33-year-old rural Scottsbluff man who was the target of a Wing Drug Task Force investigation this winter. Shane Lucero was arrested in March after selling meth to a CI on 3 separate occasions, with weights coming in at 27 grams and 2 at 55 grams. He was initially facing 2 counts of distribution of methamphetamine between 28 and 140 grams, and 1 count of distribution of meth 10 to 28 grams. Last week in district court, he pleaded guilty to 3 amended charges of distribution of an exceptionally hazardous drug. Each of the Class 2 felonies carries up to 20 years in prison, and sentencing has been set for September 20th. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
When it comes to your health, you deserve the very best. At Morrill County Community Hospital, they provide top-notch care with compassion and expertise. From routine checkups to advanced surgeries, their dedicated team is here for you 24/7. With state-of-the-art technology and a patient-first approach, they ensure you and your loved ones receive the highest quality care. Because at Morrill County Community Hospital, your health is their priority. Visit Morrill County Community Hospital today in Bridgeport. Morrill County Community Hospital. Exceptional care right here at home.
Welcome back. The legislature's Revenue Committee yesterday heard testimony on Legislative Resolution 6CA, a constitutional amendment that would limit increases in the valuation of real property and impose accountability on political subdivisions utilizing bonded indebtedness. Introduced by Omaha Senator Kathleen Kauth, the measure is modeled after Prop 13, which was passed by California voters in the 1970s to limit property taxes in the state. Kauth told the committee that under the proposal, when purchasing a house, the property tax would be determined as a percentage of the sale price.
For our purposes, I used 1.5%. California did theirs at 1%. That amount can grow by 2% per year to account for growth. What this does, it's the ultimate in consumption tax. It gives people the choice. They look at a house and say, I can afford this house, I can see what this tax is, and now I know with certainty what that tax will be going forward, and I can make that decision to purchase it.
Kauth said it would eliminate the mass appraisal effect, where a single high-dollar sale can skew property values of surrounding homes. She said it was also extraordinarily fair, letting people make the choice on what they can afford and was likely to increase the stability of neighborhoods. Well, Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly is touting the many opportunities that he and trade mission delegates had to promote Nebraska products and continued market growth during a recent week-and-a-half-long visit to Indonesia. The 20-plus member team took part in a full slate of meetings, events, and activities geared primarily at showcasing Nebraska ag commodities, including beef, pork, soybeans, corn, and grains. The delegation included representatives from the Nebraska Department of Agriculture, the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, and the University of Nebraska, and several Nebraska agriculture business sector representatives.
Join us in Mitchell, Nebraska for the 137th Annual Scottsbluff County Fair, July 27th through August 3rd. Start on Saturday with the County Fair Parade. Next is a week's worth of 4-H livestock shows and the FFA Chore Time Relay on Tuesday. The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pull is Wednesday, and the Fraser Carnival starts nightly. Thursday is the Arena Cross, and on Friday, Jared Neiman is live in concert with opener Frank Ray. Then on Saturday is the 41st Annual Rubber Check Race. For tickets, call 623-1828 or visit scottsbluffcountyfairgrounds.com.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It is time for our Fridays in the Field segment. It's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. And we trekked out of Nebraska into Iowa for this week's Fridays in the Field, and we're visiting with Galen Smith. He is from in Shelby County, just outside of Portsmouth, Iowa. Galen, thanks for visiting with us here today. First of all, before we talk about the season so far, tell me a little bit about your operation here. Would imagine multi-generational. Tell me a little bit about the history here.
Yes, this here where I live is a 200-acre farm, which belonged to my wife's folks, and it was a century farm in 1982. So we've been here for a while.
Yeah, no doubt. And of course, who's multi-generations involved in the farm now, right?
Yes. My son, he's farming and with me, and so we work together at it.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Well, the reason I picked you for a Fridays in the Field segment is we actually met earlier this year. The KTIC brought a spring break out to you in your operation. That was on May 28th. And I happened to notice that you didn't have a whole lot of planting done at that point. I think on that date, you maybe had one field planted. Tell me about the spring. Apparently it was a difficult spring, huh?
Yeah, it was. We had, it was dry early, and we were trying to get a lot of things done before we started planting, and then all at once it started raining, and then it didn't want to stop raining. So got us a little late planting, but we got started there late in May planting corn, and then got the beans done the first half of June. So anyway, the crop's looking pretty good now. So
yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But like I say, right at Memorial Day, there one field planted. Once things got fit, how long did it take you to finish planting corn and beans?
Didn't take that long, about 2 to 3 weeks.
And everything was in. So
Yep.
What has happened since then now? Obviously a very late start for the corn and soybeans. Have they made up some time? What's the condition here as we get into the month of August?
Well, they're coming along good. We've had quite a few heat units here lately, so they're coming along good. Our soybeans are just starting to get pods on them, so.
All right, now how about the corn? Has everything pollinated? Are we starting to fill out that ear now?
It just, I'm not sure of how much you can tell on the ears yet. Is it just tasseled last week? So.
Okay, so we're just getting through pollination now, huh?
Right.
Yep. All right. How about the conditions? Have you had to deal with any bugs or diseases or anything like that with this late season, late planted corn and beans?
No, we haven't. There isn't much out there in the cornfields. One guy said he thought there might be a little bit of southern rust, but it was, nothing serious.
All right.
So.
And we happen to be standing in a soybean field. I see there's a few Japanese beetles, but not enough to warrant any action yet, huh?
I don't think so. Yeah, there's some beetles out here, but hopefully they don't get bad enough we have to spray for them. But
sure. Tell me, what is a typical year farming here in western Iowa? What's the soil type like? I know there's a lot of terraces in this part of the world too, right?
Yes. Yep. We got a lot of terraces. Try to keep the soil up on the side hills where it needs to be. So.
Yeah. What is a typical yield here for corn and soybeans?
Well, the corn is depending on how much rain we get, is pretty much from 200 to 300 bushel an acre. So.
And beans?
That's dry land, or no irrigation around here. And the soybeans are, oh golly, I don't know, probably 60 to 70 bushel.
Continuing our conversation here in Portsmouth, Iowa, and son David Smith joins us this time around. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that have happened here this summer in and around Portsmouth. Sounds like you were pretty close to some heavy weather earlier this summer. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, there was a tornado out of Minden. It come up from south of there, and it stretched.
26th.
Yeah, April 26th, so that's the day before my birthday, so I shouldn't forget that. And
happy birthday, right?
Yeah. And so instead of, I kind of just put stuff on hold because we couldn't get in the field anyway, so then I ended up doing a lot of tornado cleanup for some people. I had some close friends that got pretty heavy damage, and so I was actually over there today doing some more cleanup, finish work and stuff for them, some dirt work and things, and just a lot of devastation. So all the people that were planted, most of it wasn't even out of the ground yet, if it was planted. But so they had a lot of fields with debris all over, and so then that was kind of a toss up. Do you go out and clean it up because you're going to damage what's already planted, and things like that. So a lot of handwork, I think, was done there, just because you couldn't take machinery out there for fear of wrecking the crops.
Sure, absolutely. And you said it was kind of interesting, like you said, watching where the debris all landed. Interesting story from this part of the world with one of your neighbors, huh?
Yeah, we had a couple down the road there, just not far out of Harlan. Their wedding picture ended up clear up in northeastern Iowa. So they said what it was, 240 some miles away or something. Mm-hmm. And the picture was pretty well intact because they put it on Facebook and people knew who it was right away.
Yeah.
So, and they're not young people anymore. So, you know, it was nice to see the people were recognized them, knew who they were, and got that picture back to them. And so now their son is my neighbor. Mm-hmm. So he moved into my aunt's house.
Sure.
For the time being until they can get their place fixed up or rebuilt, whatever they're going to do with that.
Sure. All right. So back to the farming operation, if we can, for a second, David. Made mention that there was a lot of moisture, a lot of rain that fell in this part of the world. Did that tear up a lot of things? Were there some maintenance that had to be done before spring field work?
Yeah, we had a lot of terraces that got blown out. We actually went out to plant and went over a hill, and Dad comes back. He says, "We got to get a cat back out here." He said, and we just had the cat out there. So I had the wife out there with the pickup full of seed, and I come out with the tractor and planter, just turned around and come back home with it. So we had to get a cat back out there. So we come here and started planting here first then, and just worked our way the other way, you know. So I thought, well, we got to get seed in the ground. So while they're doing dirt work, we'll be doing our own dirt work, I guess.
Sure. So, all right. So as we stand here at the beginning of August, what do you think of the progress on the crops, considering how late that you guys got started? The way things look now, what is your opinion?
They look good. I'm no professional, so it's probably too early to tell how good the yields are going to actually be, but you know, they look decent. You know, I think they've made up some ground. They seem to have caught up somewhat, you know, and the corn stand's looking pretty decent, so I really can't have any complaints for as late as it was. I mean, it kind of is what, you know, you got to deal with what you're dealt with, so
sure,
that's just how it works.
Yeah. What about from here on out through the rest of the season? Are you do you have to do anything else to this crop? Are you looking at a fungicide application or something else?
Yeah, we'll converse with our seed dealer and kind of get what their input is on that. You know, we kind of trust their opinion a lot. You know, they grow seed too, you know, they farm too and whatnot, so they've never really steered us wrong, so we kind of value their opinion pretty good. Mm-hmm. I guess if it's bad, they know we won't be back to get more seed, so
something like that. Anyway. Yeah. But it is kind of amazing how a crop can come back out of that given the right conditions. I didn't ask you about the moisture situation. Like your dad said, no irrigation in this part of the world. How is the moisture situation?
Well, we should be pretty good. I mean, we've gotten plenty of rain, and it was pretty timely because just as soon as it dried up, it rained again, so which made it hard to plant. So
yeah,
but
probably need a couple of rains yet to finish off the crop.
Yeah, we can't remain dry. I mean, that would hurt us pretty bad. So we'll still need moisture. And I would think it would get it, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know, that Mother Nature's pretty hard to read sometimes.
No doubt about that.
It's kind of like the markets.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a whole different subject, right? Yeah. David, thanks for visiting with us. Again, thanks to David and Galen Smith from Portsmouth, Iowa, here in Shelby County. Our guests on this week's Fridays in the Field segment, it's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. Here on the Rural Radio Network, Chad Moyer reporting.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Tri-City Stormwater presents Stormwater 101, an illicit discharge.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the Legacy of the Plains Museum has been working on restoring its steam tractor for the past several years, and this week it was finally completed. Museum Director Dave Wolf says he's very excited about this new feature, as it is one of the few in the area.
In the early 2000s, there was a bunch of kind of accidents with steam tractors, so they put in new rules and regulations to make sure they're certified. So the museum decided to get it completely refurbished, have it completely made safe, and we've had Dave Cronk in Torrington has put in countless hours to be able to make this steam tractor usable, and we're really excited.
Wolf says the tractor will be featured at the museum's annual Harvest Fest, and there will be live demonstrations throughout the rest of the year. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back here on Monday.